Welcome back, Pause Menu Society. Our Raising Kanan, season 5, final season recap. Obviously, Streets Need a Body. This is part 2 and 3 effectively, but it'll just be the second episode. We obviously missed an episode, so we're combining episodes 2 and 3. With you as always, Derek Daniel Ocean, super producer Sturl. Producing tonight's episode is Killer Kobe. He will be on later to help us conduct our power draft. So, where we pick up episode 2, um, in episode 1, obviously, Kanan shot Lulu, right? So they dumped Rock and I don't remember what the dude's name was, dumped Lulu's body like it
In the
looked like a
trash.
landfill. Yeah, just dumped him in the
Mhm.
trash. Um, Obviously the police come to Marvin about it. You know, he verifies it's Lulu's body. Marvin automatically thinks it's Neek. So basically, at this point, Pernessa's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. So we pick up in episode 2. Neek has got Pernessa and Jerome set up somewhere in the woods. Now, I don't know where this is in New York. I don't know if it's the Poconos. I don't know if it's Westchester or wherever the fuck it is, but he's got them set up. He goes to check in on them. And the one glaring thing right off the bat was Jerome just wouldn't like have no contact nor communication with Neek. So as I'm seeing this, I'm just like, I don't know if this is like going to be a one-off type of deal or if this is something for the long play. And truthfully, it ended up being something from the long play. Um, Pernessa wants Neek to lead a game, and Neek it's just not hearing that shit. This is, I think, like 93 or something like that, right? Neek is of that the ilk of like the hustlers of that era. So Neek is what, 23, 20, anywhere from 23, 25, we'll say, right? Because
Mhm.
Kanan's like 16 or 17 at this time. Neek, Rock, Marvin, Lou, they came up in during the time, especially in Queens, we're talking about the Supreme Team, 40, Baisley. You can listen to any Nas record or a Mob, well, not really a Mob Deep record, but like some old Murder Inc. shit, and this shit is talked about. We're talking about the era of Rich Porter's only been gone a few years. And Rich Porter was like a god in Harlem, so much to the point that they celebrated his birthday every year, even after his death. I don't know if they still do, but you know what I'm saying? You had dudes like it was Rayful Edmond down in DC doing his thing. Tony Lewis was also kind of in DC doing his thing. Um, I don't know if we really had anybody big in St. Louis at that time. I think we're still a couple. Well, maybe I don't know if Terry was here yet.
Not
I don't
then.
know.
They didn't
Yeah, I
they
don't
didn't
think
start
Terry.
moving around here until the 2000s.
Okay, so yeah, but this is the era of like the true hustle. Like with New York is so different because they New York, the whole like Manhattan, all of it is like built on a grid. And when they have these heat waves in the summer, Con Edison would lose power and basically the whole island would lose power and the boroughs. So what would happen is this is specifically in 1977. I read The Bronx is Burning just a while ago. There was I think a 5-part miniseries on ESPN about it. It was more focused on the son of Sam, the 77 Yankees, which Reggie Jackson joined and all that stuff. But the blackout was really part of it. So what happened was during the blackout, everybody started looting. So where the Bronx and parts of Brooklyn and Harlem were very prominent, like Yankee Stadium is in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? But they not gonna show you what it looks like when you leave the ballpark and shit like that. So these areas were torn apart by the looting, set on fire and stuff like that. That's why you see a bunch of burnt down buildings and stuff like that. Like even if you watch Dead Presidents, if you remember the scene where Anthony and Skippy handing out toys and shit to the kids, that's the Bronx, and that shit is burnt the fuck up. This is all because of like the riots and stuff like that. Essentially, New York just did not give a fuck. They weren't going to repair those areas because you had a bunch of black and brown people in those areas. And to be quite frank, like state government, local government, and the government as a whole does not give a fuck about brown and black people. I think we all know that by now. So when you coming off of that, especially in New York, you got Studio 54, the discotheques, hip hop is coming up, and then somebody. I think the credit is given to Oakland for coming up with crack. Basically, that's the way the story is told in Snowfall. I don't know how true that is. Also, shout out to Snowfall, the spinoff with Wanda and what's my guy? He was Franklin right hand man.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, it
I
just
can't
got
think of his
announced. So
name.
we getting that. I think it's later this year, but I'm really excited for that. But anyway, um, you coming off all that, and somebody figured out if you mix baking powder and Coke and cook it up in a pot, you get crack. And at that
Well,
point, it was a
so
wrap.
before that though, you got to think the drug of the choice, it was heroin.
It was
Before
heroin,
it
yeah.
was even, yeah, heroin, and then around 83, 84 is when crack originally hit
It hit very hard.
everywhere, pretty much. Yeah. Because all of them niggas, you got to keep in mind, Rich Porter and all them niggas, they didn't sell crack. Them niggas they was just coke dealers. They sold
Yeah, they were
coke on
wholesale. They were
consignment.
selling Coke.
They was wholesale,
Yeah.
yeah. And then um it really started, the epidemic really happened. It started in 83. By 85, 86, it was a full epidemic. So
And like NWA, like could tell you like the perfect like the story of like of crack really coming in. NWA gives you that, and like so everybody that came post NWA, like we know, Hove sold crack, 50 sold crack, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the statute of limitations is over. I probably shouldn't have said that, but it is what it is. They've told the stories a million times on there. Like 50 said when he got his
right.
first advance from the first deal, he took it and bought $7,000 worth of crack or some shit like that.
Yep.
Um, so Neek is of that ilk, right? Like if Neek was a real character, he's about 50 or Hove's age or something like that. So that hustle is embedded in them because that's all they really knew. Pranessa wanted Neek out the game. Neek was not trying to hear that shit. Um, so then Neek picks up on the fact he's like, yo, Jerome is just not fucking with him. Pranessa's like, this has been hard on him. I didn't think that it was going to have the long term effect that it was going to have. And we'll get to that in a minute. So then we go back to Queens because I think Phil is definitely part of Queens because yeah, yeah. So Phil was having this conversation with his wife, and the minute she started crying and he was like, "Put on your best shit, we going out tonight," this, that, and the third. In my head,
Hmm.
I'm like, "Yo, he's not making it out this episode. He's getting clipped." And then the minute dude was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop through the drive-through. I'm like,
You say we in
and
the
then
middle
he
of the
was,
fucking war and you got to stop to get some fast food.
"You want to go get?" Yeah, exactly. I'm like, "Yo, this is it." The minute he got out the car and turned his head, I was like, and I was like, I knew it. He was gone. The minute he had that conversation with his wife, I knew he was not making it out that episode alive. So Tony Danza got his get back. Phil gets clipped. Speaking of Tony Danza, him and Rock sitting down having a conversation in the hospital. He told her flat out, "I'm not fucking with you no more. You can
You
no
know
longer
good in
do
Queens.
business in Queens. Yeah, your
Yep.
name is shit out here. Um, if I catch you doing some shit, it's gonna be butting men on the street. Like it's not like if it was mob versus mob, we're going to the mattresses, but it's like they're not viewed that way. The Italians just never viewed black people that way. Frank Lucas might have been the only Frank Lucas and Bumpy Johnson were probably the only two who really got on their radar. Like, all right, we got to start taking this black motherfucker serious because the rest of it was just bums. Like, I'm taking this one serious. Um, the Sal hit though, like I said, I have my notes. I called the Sal hit. I seen the Godfather, Goodfellas, etc. too many times. I knew that that was 100% coming. Um, Marvin put some money on the streets to get Neek's whereabouts. The cops kick in Kanan's stash house. This is where the episode turns for me because I was like, now we getting deeper into this. And this takes me back because the cops tell him, like, we not trying to arrest you. We just shutting you the fuck down. And he's like, yo, my mom's did this shit. I know she did this shit. She had y'all kill my best friend. And they're like, what the fuck is a famous? We don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So at that point, I was just like, now we've reached the point where we're building the story further on out to everything that's going to happen here in the second and third episode. This is going to have lasting effects for the finale of this season once we get there. but also power as a whole.
Mhm.
Like, because now, make no mistake about it, him asking the cops about the famous shit, that's to keep it's to keep Famous's name on your mind because we all know Famous' real name is Sean, and Kanan's son is Sean. He 100% named him after Famous. Nobody's telling me any different. Um, Again, Marvin is 100% focused on finding Neek because he want to put Neek down, and Rock just trying to move the weight. Um, Rock wants to move the dope to Manhattan. Detective shows up at Juke's girlfriend's house. Rock want to move the weight out of Lou's bar. It was a lot going on. Dopest part for me is when well, number one, Breeze homeboy. Let's talk about him because you and I both peeped it. I peeped it,
Yeah,
and then
he
you
gotta
text me
go.
when you was he's got to go. He's got to go. And when we get to season 3, we'll have more of that conversation. But Breeze peeped the shit. Breeze 100% peeped. He's like, yo, the nigga named Taz or something. He's like, you're on some bullshit. And when I knew homie was on some jealous shit is when they had the meeting in the hospital and they told him he couldn't come in the room. He had to stay out the room.
Right.
Like, cause you supposed to be our right hand man. Snaps and Palpatine, Rock in there. Or no, Rock wasn't there. I'm sorry.
Rock
Kanan was
Wagner,
in
yeah.
there. That's right. Kanan was in there. Breeze was in there. And Stefano. No Neek. I'm just like, yo, homie feels like he's being passed over. And this reminds me of what happened with Neek homeboy Warrell when they was just like, yo, you can either get down with us or you gonna starve because Neek don't run this shit no more. We taking all of this over. So we seeing
Right.
that shit play out again. I ain't gonna lie, I thought Breeze was gonna clip dude in the same episode. I'm surprised he made it out the episode. I'm not gonna hold you.
Uh, Skipping forward just a little bit, after the 3rd episode of what he pulled in the 3rd episode, I don't think he,
Yeah,
if Breeze is really who they portraying him to be, he should make it he should make it to the 5th, really.
we had that conversation where we both felt like they built Breeze up all these years. The OG power. Then when this power started, it's like, yo, who is this Breeze character? Who is Breeze? Who is Breeze? And we both said, like, I think Shamik Moore is dope. I just felt like they're not delivering on who we're expected, like who we're all expecting Breeze to be.
After the 3rd episode, I'm seeing it a little bit more.
Yes, exactly. I was just gonna say that. I have that in my notes. I'm like, I have where do I have that in my notes? I definitely put that down. Um, I had it somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, um, Juke wants to know who killed Lou. She tells Marvin that Neek and Rock were messing around, which Marvin was just like, your auntie fucked around with a bunch of people. It's not that big of a deal. Um, Kanan Breeze snaps pop. Sit down with Stefano, informing him that Sal is gone. He doesn't want to be in the business of dope anymore. He still wants his taste because essentially he's all that's left in Queens at this point. I would imagine Queens is basically his
Hmm.
because the one dude that Neek was real close with, the one that was Jackie Aprile in The Sopranos, he got clipped by Marvin outside the christening.
Hmm.
Um, Homie tried to take Sal out. Sal survived, and then Homie just got clipped. So Sal is the last standing of the Italians in Queens. Now, my man, Joe Pantoliano, Joey fucking Pants, he was Captain Howard in the Bad Boys franchise. Um, he was what's my guy? Ralph Cifaretto on The Sopranos. My guy Joey fucking Pants shows up. Absolute fucking legend. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do with this role. I really feel like shout out to Courtney Kemp, and I don't know how much 50 had to do with casting or Sasha Penn or any of them, but like these motherfuckers then got Tony Danza and now Joey Pants. Like, who the fuck else is gonna show up in fucking Raising Kanan? They really swinging big on casting. So shout out and not for nothing, Mike Epps was Mike Epps. That's not Mike Epps. Is it Mike Epps? No,
Who?
Mike Epps is Day Day. Who the fuck is the nigga? Um, he looked like homie who used to coach the Steelers. He married the homegirl from he
Omar Epps.
Omar Epps. That's who the fuck it is. Yeah. getting Omar Epps to start the show off was was a
Was
goddamn
fire.
great casting choice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So shout out to the casting team because they're really doing their thing in this show. I got to give them their props. Who the hell's that? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so Breeze and Neek have this face off, and this is where I said it. This is where I start to feel like Breeze really starts to feel like a real character at this point. I'm watching the mannerisms. I'm like, okay, this is where the tide turns. Because I was on the fence about Breeze. Like, even the way Shamik Moore showed up in that Porsche in the first when he got introduced at the end of last season, like this nigga riding around bumping his head. Not to say it ain't some killers out there that ride around bumping their head and shit like that, but he just came off very, very strange. Like, this is the nigga that's supposed to be Breeze, but now the seeds are really starting to be planted. I'm like, okay, here we go. Um, Shirley caught Marvin moving boxes into the office at the bar. She want to know what the fuck Marvin's up to. Marvin says flat out, "We want to buy you out. This is non-negotiable." Shirley's like, "Yo, Lou would not be fucking with this," and Marvin agrees, but says Lou is no longer around. This shit is weird. I guess that's it because we don't see Shirley in episode 3, so I'm guessing that's it for her. Um, her and Lou had a connection. It was obviously non-sexual, non-romantic. I think Lou felt like she understood him and she allowed Lou to be who he was, even in his
Music was that
semi-depressed
connection.
state. Music was definitely their connection. And the fact that they pops used to hang out there or play there or something like that.
Hmm.
So, um, I don't know, man. Shirley was an all right character, but maybe it's just time, I suppose. Um, Again, Bree's right hand man tells Neek about the hospital. Sit down. Breeze could tell his mans was jealous, telling him he's getting passed over, but also basically telling him he's a dead man for telling Neek and stirring shit up. Like you said, after the shit he pulled in the 3rd episode, if he made it out of episode 4, I'd be surprised. You said episode 5?
I think they set it. They may set it up in episode 4 where Breeze under sees a little bit more after he gets word back of what happened. Um,
Yeah.
if he don't get clipped in episode 4, he doesn't make it past episode 5.
Yeah, it's just this is ridiculous. Like, I get it. Nobody will want to be with somebody like this my ace, whatever, whatever, and then a whole new nigga come in and usurp them. Like, I get it. Dude has a right to be upset. Nobody wants to be in that fucking position. But at the same time, in the business that I don't care where you been, everybody knows what the dope game is like. It's like he
Well,
told that nigga
well,
in
we're
ATL.
we're you also got to keep in mind we're saying this in hindsight in 2026, knowing how all of this shit plays out because we've got so many stories. Being in the
Mhm.
midst of it in the 80s, late 80s, he wouldn't have known that that was going to happen. So I do give him that. But
Well, yeah, but we know, like I said in ATL, what he told. What did I tell you when you got in this shit? This grown man business. It's like people be like, "Oh, it's just a little, it's an ounce or whatever. What the fuck?" That still has to be accounted for. That's still money that has to go into somebody. Like, I came out of my pocket with my connect to re up, and that's money you took out of my pocket. That's how a lot of motherfuckers get. Like, a lot of motherfuckers get killed over territory, and also the fact that some niggas want to be king and they willing to take out anybody to do it. Anybody who like it, fucking state property. Y'all either gonna get down or y'all gonna lay down. That's what Beans was telling niggas all around Philly. You gonna get out or you gonna lay down. It's your decision. Some niggas want to be the king. Some niggas have no problem being the right hand man. I think dude was okay. I think dude is okay because he's still alive in the show. I think he's okay with being Breeze's right hand man. He does not like the fact that he's being usurped by Neek and Kanan. That's what it is. Because like
yeah,
he
for
can
sure.
accept that, like Snaps and Pop, like obviously, essentially they're the connect. They probably put this little whole little bullshit together, but I feel, dude, I'm just not dumb enough to have said something crazy that might get myself killed. Um, but also at the same time, I wouldn't have been involved in the shit in the first place. So I mean, I don't know. Um, so we both got his days. Count his days. We're at that point. Um, the detective, Aisha's parents, Basically tell him, yo, your daughter's fucking with this girl. She's running around the Thomas family. These the craziest niggas in Queens. They known for shootouts, dope, and all that stuff. And the parents like, nah, nah, bullshit, bullshit. And it's all true. We all know this because we're watching the show with open eyes. But obviously, the funny thing is also them being of that era, they had to see everything change. And I guess they were just being naive because Juke does present herself very well because she was, I don't know, I think based on that brownstone that her girlfriend
I was
lived
gonna say they
in,
on two totally different sides of town.
where is Aisha from?
She, if I'm not mistaken, they may live because Juke was taking trains to go see her and the white girl. So if I'm not mistaken, they may be in like a uppity part of like Harlem or something like that. They
So I
not in
know
she not in Queens.
Queen Nicole definitely, based on the brownstone and where they were, it looks like the Upper East Side, like Central Park Gossip Girl type shit.
Yeah.
Based on that brownstone, Aisha, I can't really place where she lives at. It could be Harlem. I don't know. Um, but so there, but
Wherever it is, it's uppity. It's not where Juke and them is
so
from.
then what? It's not Hell's Kitchen. Like, what part of Harlem is it that's nice enough? Well,
Could be closer to
no,
Manhattan.
Harlem is part of Manhattan.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
within the so I guess that because the Bronx and Harlem is like separated by a couple of blocks. So um maybe she is. I would have to look at their house again to tell. The architecture can usually like I said, that's like looking into Cole's house. It screamed Upper East Side to me, but it also could have been a better part of Brooklyn, like near Dumbo, because if I'm not mistaken, in the Cosby Show, they lived in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they lived in yeah, they definitely lived in Brooklyn.
So I'm thinking Upper East Side or maybe Dumbo or something like that. But Aisha, it's tough to pinpoint. It could be Harlem. I'd have to look at they crib again. Well, I don't even barely remember seeing they crib. I know they shown it, but I guess I just never really paid attention to it because I never had to place it till now. So I don't know. I have to check up on that. I'll definitely have to look into that. Aisha sneaks out, tells Juke what happened. Juke tells her flat out they shouldn't be together. Aisha's heartbroken and crying, and Juke is just not trying to hear the shit. Um, they just planting seeds of who Jukebox is or who Jukebox is gonna be in the OG power. Like everything that they everything that they've shown us, when you think about Juke and the OG power, you like, I can see why she's fucked up. The shit they did to her at the church, number one. Her mom's leaving, and then her
Mhm.
finding her mom's and her mom's getting shot definitely plays a part. Her and Marvin's fucked up relationship in the first season definitely plays a part. That little stint she did in the army, the cops following her around. When you put all that shit in one big ass pot of gumbo, you get Anika Noni Rose as Juke in the OG power. And I'm like, all of this shit makes sense. The broad that
Well,
Juke
right
had
now
living
she
with her.
just torn. She's torn between both lives because her doing that shit to old girl wasn't to be on some malice and I truly don't
No,
care.
she,
She truly cares for her. That's
and
why
that's
she
why I
wanted to
need
push
you
her
to
away.
go.
Yeah.
You got to go because I can't let you get wrapped up in this shit for sure. And then Juke stopped stalking the cop. I'm like, is he the one that gets her into law enforcement? Like, I'm starting to think that maybe he has, because it was a point where the girl that was Detective Howard partner, I'm like, okay, maybe she's gonna be the one that influences
Mhm.
Juke to become a cop. But she was she was a pretty clean cop. She just did some behind the scenes cop type shit. We find out in episode 3, this motherfucker wants money on the side and all this shit because Juke showed up to his house.
She propositioned him, yeah. Well, no,
So
it wasn't the fact that he wanted the money. She propositioned him, and she hit him where it hurt. Look at how you live. Look at how y'all
yeah,
moving. You know you can use some more money. He wasn't on that from the jump. He thought about that
yeah.
shit and said, "Yeah, you know what, uh, bitch, if you ever cross me, I'm killing you." But
I mean,
at
but
the end,
had his family, Juke was 100% gonna clip him. 100%. When the kids come out and the pregnant wife, that's when she was like, I can't do this. But
mhm,
100%, homeboy was about to be 6 feet deep. Props to Juke for holding her, being cool and holding back. Her showing back up after that, I'm just like, Juke is like mad fearless, mad fucking fearless. And again, everything we're seeing now manifest into Juke. And to be clear about it, we only got her for that, like, what? How many episodes was Juke in OG Power? Like 5, 6, something like that.
mhm.
Not a big run. I don't know if I think maybe, not saying she's got to be there for the entire run of Power Origins. You might have to drop Juke in somewhere out of town. Show us how she got to DC. Show us what the hell she's doing in DC. Going through the police academy or something. They've done so much with Juke. She's one of the most interesting characters. And as they roll credits on the finale of this season, I don't think you could just let Juke go until we get to the OG Power. I just don't think you can.
Yeah, it's going rather fast with her, for sure.
Yeah.
I think
I feel like
she at least before the end has to be showing some interest in doing the police academy, at least,
has
for it to
to
make sense.
something. Or show her and the cop building a relationship and him being like, why don't you try police, the police academy or something like that. Like, give us something. But we cannot, because Juke shows up in what? Kanan gets burnt in
2,
season 3. Is it 2?
I believe it's 2.
And so Juke shows up in like season 3, something like that.
Yeah, I'm googling it now.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Kanan gets killed when Tariq starts to really start kind of coming into his own. So Kanan had like motherfuckers thought he was dead because he got burnt alive, and whole time he in DC and shit.
She shows up in season 3,
That's what I thought. Okay, and she's in how many episodes?
the last 6.
That's it.
No,
Damn. Okay,
she's only in 5 episodes. She
that's what I
dies
said.
in
Yeah.
the 5th, in the one before the finale.
Okay, so we're saying essentially 5 seasons of this show. We don't know how many seasons there's going to be of Power Origins, and then we don't see Juke again till season 3. That's a very wide bridge. Like, you can't. You got to close that gap. They've got to drop her in somewhere around there. Like, because at the same time, you got to remember when Ghost is like, "Kay, where's my son?" And he was like, "I know where she at." And he was like, "Where's my son?" He was like, He with the, craziest bitch around, get more pussy than some niggas." And Ghost was like, "Jukebox, what the fuck?" And then Ghost went to Tommy, and he was like, "You remember fucking Jukebox?" And he
Kanan's
was like,
cousin.
"That crazy bitch." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying? Like, her, Tommy, and Ghost have got to cross paths at least. I don't know if they're gonna bring Tommy and Ghost in at the end to transition to the next show, like they did with Breeze last season, but they've got to cross paths at some point, or else it doesn't make sense for Tommy and Ghost to have any reference to who Jukebox is in the future. They
Mhm.
have to. They like at least 2 or 3 episodes, before Juke takes off or something like that. They have got to cross paths. Telling y'all, Sasha Penn, Courtney Kemp, do the right thing. Do not just let Haley Kilgore walk off. Y'all have got to build this. Y'all have got to build this. The same way y'all put Braden in episodes of the OG Power and then let him and Tariq do their thing in the next Power and shit like that. Braden got introduced. Effie got introduced. You got to do the same fucking thing. You got to do the
Right.
same fucking thing. Um, kind of jumping all over. Breeze. Okay. So this is really where I'm like, okay, this nigga, Rock goes to old girl. Rock meets up with Flossie. Um, Flossie seems like real. She's definitely realer than any other woman that's been in the show so far. You know what I'm saying? Her and Rock seem to have like equal ideas. They're equally yoked that, they feel like women should be empowered and stuff like that. Uh Breeze wants to take Neek out. And it's another reason spot where I was like, okay, this is the Breeze that we thought we were going to get.
Mhm.
Going up to Neek's penthouse and all that shit. This shit is crazy. But before that,
Wait, before you say Breeze wants to take Neek out, I don't know after because when you jump to the 3rd and Pops and old girl ask him what's going on with Neek, I think that was a hit sent from them. That was a setup from jump.
you think
I don't
so?
think because if you remember when he was sitting down having dinner with him, they was like, "So what's going on with Neek? Has he popped up?" He was like, "Well, you
That's
think
right.
Neek's gone?" So I think they set that up to the
That
point
might
where
be.
they were trying to reel him in to get him clipped.
Well, here's the thing. Neek peeped the play. You got to give Neek credit because he's sitting there talking to Kanan like, yo, everybody out here telling Tom about I clipped your uncle. You standing right in front of me and this your uncle and you ain't gonna pull the steel on me. I think you know who killed that nigga. And I think you might have killed that nigga.
Killed that nigga, right?
Neek peeped it from jump. Because if your people's dead and all the streets are saying I did it, and me and
And
you
y'all
about
just
to
so
go into
gun ho
business
to do
together,
business with me. Yeah, come on.
yeah, yeah. Neek peeped that shit. Neek peeped that shit, and Neek. That's where Neek is like, all right, now we got to plan differently. But before that, that nigga Marvin, starving motherfucking Marvin. Marvin is not to be played with,
That nigga went
and
in there on some X-Men shit.
this is how we came to the draft. This is how we even got to the draft. Marvin might be the illest nigga in the Power universe. And I know we had Ghost, we had Tommy, we had Kanan, motherfucker Dre, Lobos, all them motherfuckers. Pink sneakers, you know what I'm saying? Whoever the
That
fuck
bitch was
cut her
cold.
cheek. This nigga Marvin is different. You walk into a bar with all these niggas who tell you they ain't telling you shit. And this nigga came with the double joints, hit homeboy and was like, tell me where Neek is. I ain't telling you shit. And then they cut outside, and Marvin just in there airing that motherfucker out. Airing the whole bar the fuck out. And then had the dude come off the fucking address. And at that point, I was just like, this nigga Marvin's different, man. This nigga
Nigga
Marvin
Marvin
is
one of the ones.
different.
He one of the ones. I ain't gonna hold you.
Marvin is like Marvin's Power Hall of Fame. Like, put his jersey up there. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck has Marvin not pulled the steel on? The only time we didn't see Marvin go crazy and catch crazy bodies is when he was doing the anger management shit. And he was still low key. Like, they put old girl dog in the microwave. Now, that was Rock's call. I think, did Marvin carry that out or did Lou carry that out? I can't remember, but like, that nigga Marvin lit the place the fuck up.
Right.
Put money in the streets for Neek's whereabouts. Yo, you put money on his head. You Marvin was going to where Neek was laying his fucking head. So much so, Marvin got the address, went to Neek's house in the woods. Neek, Panessa, and Jerome
Just missed
just missed
fucking
him. Just fucking missed him.
yeah.
And this is where we get to the end of episode 2. They left all their stuff. Panessa says, "What about our stuff?" Neek said, "We'll get new shit. We done with New York. They gone. They never coming back." And then we get Kanan come over to narrate the end, and you're just like, it take a real tough motherfucker to be able to stand up and say, "I'm done with this shit. I'm out of here." This, that, and the third. At that point, I'm just like, okay, Neek is gone. But in my head, I'm like, well, fuck, we thought Neek was done when Ronnie did whatever the fuck he did to him. Joey Badass has done an interview since then, he thanks Sasha Penn, everybody, for everything they did for him, bringing him on Power, allowing him to come back when initially Neek was killed off.
Mhm.
And then he said he saw the reception and was like, damn, I ain't really gonna be on tour that long. And he hit him like, yo, how dead am I for real? And they was like, you want to come back? He was like, yeah. But this time it's final. I don't think we're seeing Neek again. I think that
Mm-mm.
fully wrapped up Neek's story. Again, with Kanan doing the narrating, we don't see Neek anymore. That's it. And the thing that changed Neek's mind is before he left that house, Pernessa was like, Jerome, say bye to your dad. And Jerome wasn't trying to hear that shit. So then Neek gets ready to go. Jerome comes running out the house and gives him a hug. And he was like, I needed this hug more than you know, Jay. I needed this hug more than you know. And at that moment, Neek decided he was done with the game.
I think that planted the seed. When once that seed was planted, he still was 10 toes down trying to figure something out. Once he had the meeting with Pops and old girl after he had
Girl,
already talked to Kanan, that's when he peeped the plot. You motherfuckers is trying to get me up out of here. And he
100%.
knew then after talking to them, something that they said, I need to go back and look at it, but something that they said clicked in his mind that he was getting up out of there. And
Yeah, it was going to be time.
that's yeah. So he knew it was at that point I need to get up out of here.
Yeah, he told that nigga Kanan, he was like, nigga, they're not fucking with us, bro. He was like, you mean they ain't fucking with us? He was like, nigga, they are not fucking with us. They just trying to get us together and to keep our crews from beefing with one another so they can get the product out on the street. They don't give a fuck about us. Neek was smarter than anybody ever gave him credit for in that show. Shouts to Joey Badass. Phenomenal performance, bro. 4 plus seasons because I don't know if he returns, but it feels like final for him. For what he brought to that role, man, shout out to Joey Badass for sure, because Joey always been a dope rapper. I think him joining because initially he was supposed to be um who's my guy? He was in season 1 of the Wu-Tang Saga, and then I think he started working on one of his projects and they had to get somebody else to be him. But he was
Mhm.
supposed to be fuck, Obama Atomically. God damn it, who the fuck? The Rebel
RZA?
Lioness. No, he wasn't
No,
RZA.
not
He was
RZA.
Rebel, which is um fuck. I cannot think of the nigga name right now. But he was supposed he was in the show. He was only in season 1 though, and then schedules conflicted and shit like that. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, this nigga can kind of act. And then he was like, let me do this. And then that shit took him up to the next level. So shout out to him. I think he should get more acting gigs for sure. Don't ever leave the booth because Joey's still a fucking spitter at the end of the day, a dope fucking spitter. But what he did with that character was absolutely dope. So shout out to Joey Badass. So that leads us to episode 3. I didn't take many notes because I was just so entrenched in the whole episode. Um, Kanan and Breeze pulled up on old boy and them on the corner and blew the nigga brains out right there. And I was like, okay, Breeze is here. If we
Right.
had any questions, Breeze is officially here at this point. Um, Rock, Marvin, Flossie conducted meetings in the bar. Uh, what occurred? The nigga Marvin. This is why I say Marvin is a savant. He's different than anybody. He said something. He's like, y'all bitches, this, that, and the third. And old girl she said something to him. And she was like, you're really enlightened. He was like, yeah, I listen to a lot of Teddy Pendergrass. I was like,
Congrats.
this
Yeah.
nigga, I was like,
You're
this
really
is the
what she said,
greatest
you're really
character.
something with the ladies, aren't you, Marvin? He's like, "Yeah, I
He's
listen
like,
to a lot of
yeah,
Titty
I
Bear."
do a lot of Teddy Pendergrass. So I was like, this nigga Marvin is different, man. Um, yeah, I don't know what's gonna come for this meeting. So then obviously Sal meets up with our guy Joey Pants. And he was like, yo, what the fuck you doing? I cut her water off. And he was like, yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? You can't deny me the opportunity to make money. You're not fucking with her no more. You said she's dead in Queens. You said you wouldn't fucking around no more anyway, but you still want to taste off the dope business in Queens. If she's gonna do business in Manhattan, I deserve my taste as well.
Right.
Um, so this is funny. Somebody posted, I think I sent it to you and Amy. Somebody posted on TikTok that at the end of episode 3, because remember the girl goes and makes a run. She goes to that office and gives old boy that FedEx package of all the Coke bags, and then she goes to make another run, and we see her show up at Kanan's door, and he was like, "What's your name?" And she was like, "I'm whoever you want me to be." I don't know. This could all just be conjecture. Somebody assuming. Saw this TikTok video, and I believe I sent it to you and Amy. People believe that that is Sharita, Kanan's baby mother, Sean's mom's.
That's a stretch. I could see it, but that's a stretch. I
I
think that
just
this is just a way for him to get into Kanan's doing this to get into infiltrate their business.
it 100% could. But also, the nigga Kanan is what, 17? He got no control over his dick. Cause that's how he ended up with Crystal. Crystal was in the group with Juke, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Crystal was in the group with Juke. Um, he fucked the old lady that lived in his building. He's at that age, you know what I'm saying?
But you also got to
Can't
look at it this way. The nigga had the meeting with old boy, and old boy told him she's selling dope. They got with this chick. They moving shit through Manhattan through the hookers. He
yeah,
already
yeah,
had the heads up from old boy. And he was like, I'm doing business with you, but I'm dead set on fucking your mom's up. That ain't gonna get in between what we got, is it? And he
right.
was like, I got more beef with her than you could ever have.
You get
This
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like a
yeah.
plot from them for Kanan to infiltrate that because when he closed the door, he looked at the camera as nigga, I'm on some bullshit. That wasn't I'm just trying to get my dick wet. That was on
No, no, I understand that was 100% a business move for sure. I'm saying I don't think it's that much of a stretch that in trying to get like because remember, if he gets in really good with just one of the girls, they will feed him information, right? If you get a
Mhm.
different girl delivering product every time, it's just like a high and a buy and he fuck them or whatever. If it's one girl constantly going there, motherfuckers will start pillow talking. How do we find out like motherfuckers for the longest until Pusha T went on the JBP? Like, yeah, Kanye definitely told that nigga Pusha that Drake had that baby, and then we come to find
Oh, for
out,
sure.
no, it was 40.
But my
So
thing
I
is knowing Rock and knowing Rock, knowing Marvin, and just a glimpse of what I see from this white girl, I can't see her making it to Kanan's baby mama. If they find out at any point coming up that she's telling that nigga information, she's dead. She's out of it.
you ain't gonna send Marvin and take her out. I'll give you that.
Or the
I'll
white
give you
girl.
that. Could, but I'm just saying, here's the reason that I am at least in my head thinking this is something I will file away for later is because they interviewed like what, 4 girls for that segment? She's the one that we saw the most. That's why, because it's like, we saw her get her interview,
Oh,
we
she's
saw her
definitely got an
deliver goods.
intricate plot in it for sure.
Yes, so I'm saying she's going to be around. Those other girls, we may never see them again. They may just like, "Oh, we got a new girl. Oh, we got a new girl. Oh, we got a new girl." Them giving her that many scenes, it feels like she's going to be around. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, she possibly could be Sean's mother. She possibly could. Just filing it away for later. We don't know.
Okay.
What we talked about earlier, though, Breeze, right hand man, Taz. First of all, them Italians look terrible that he jumped on. Them Italians look terrible. Like I'm
Them
talking
niggas was
about like,
definitely from Staten Island somewhere. They was from the island.
yes. Oh
Yeah.
my mama, I was like, this is like these are like this is before Vinny and the situation and
That them
Ronnie and
niggas look like
Paulie
the situation of the
be,
80s.
before these niggas came around and taught people how to dress. These niggas look like the Jersey Shore cast who got their tapes rejected by MTV. These are some of the worst looking like Italian soldiers, mob figures, whatever the fuck. I'm just like, bro. And the fact that he was able to steal off on both of them and they ain't do nothing. I'm like, you just can't be
That
doing
lets you
that
know
to
that
like,
them niggas wasn't connected. Them niggas was just selling pills and getting their bread however they see fit. But them niggas wasn't connected.
all right. So I think we're both in agreement that him wilding out on them and basically like we're giving them work to sell. Why the fuck you beating up on niggas that we putting out in the street to sell the work for us? I'm just looking. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of a few reasons why Breeze takes him out. Or unless Kanan get to him first.
Cause
I
yeah,
don't
he
know.
lightweight checked Kanan. So both of them situations is coming back. Breeze is gonna
Yeah.
find out about both of them situations probably at the same time. Well, motherfucker gonna say, or he gonna get a call, hey, your man jumped on me. And then Kanan gonna be like, yeah, he called himself checking me. about taking his spot and this, and that. And this nigga done already told you once. And
once.
from what we heard about Breeze, don't sound like a nigga that really like repeating himself when he tell you something. So,
No,
I
definitely
mean,
not. Definitely not. I mean, look what he did on the corner. You know what I'm saying? And even that shit, like, and that was also going back to the conversation about Neek being done with his Neek corner. Nigga, I don't see Neek around here nowhere. We ain't budging. He emptied it into that dude head. I just like this is Breeze. Now, hopefully, they're gonna add more layers to Breeze.
right.
I want to see Breeze watching Jeopardy and shit like that, and see where Breeze is so methodical and where he
You
does
kind of get a glimpse
everything.
of that. You did kind of get a glimpse of the methodical when he was sitting there watching the police, looking at everything, the shells and all of that, when he was sitting in his car when the detectives was on the corner.
Good point. Good point. Yeah,
So you
he
do
sure
get a
was.
glimpse of that.
Okay, so I mean, we might be there. We're pretty close. We pretty close. I think that we see Breeze fulfill a little bit of his legend, and I think that once we get to Power Origins, we're gonna find. I think we're gonna start to see how smart young Ghost is and how Ghost peeps it. But the thing, like, I'm anxious to kind of get there because when Tariq asked him, he was like, "Breeze was gonna get us all killed. I gave Breeze a chance. He saw things a different way, so I had to take him out." And I'm wondering, like, how the fuck we get there. But as you say, looking at the shell casings, all that stuff, there is some sort of a methodical, you know, version of Breeze, and I think it's starting to come out. I'm just waiting to see the whole thing really
Right.
truly manifest. But
Right.
I think we getting there. I think we getting there. Um, Rock. Do we think Rock makes it out the season alive? I
If
can't
this is
call it.
the
It like
end, if this is the end, I don't think so.
I'm like 60-40. And if anything, if Rock does not make it, is it Kanan or is it Stefano that takes her out? Is my question. And aside from that, when does Kanan find out for certain that Rock had nothing to do with Crystal and Famous? Because I think
He's
that's
gonna he
already some
is starting to already he's
that's on the
starting to
table.
already believe it. He's starting to
Yeah.
already believe it. Now, the twist is
Will Rock
I
already
would
be dead when he puts it all together and then he gonna be like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm
no,
saying?
I'm telling you, don't be surprised if it ends up being a situation where Marvin tries to he figures out, finds out somehow that Kanan clipped Lou, and he try to kill Kanan and ends up killing Rock because that is gonna be a spiral because we all
And
waiting
that
on
would
the
cause him
Marvin spiral.
spiral. Yeah,
Yep.
that would be it.
I don't be surprised if
That
it's
could be
however she's dies, it's not gonna be regular. It's not gonna be regular at all. It ain't just gonna
no,
be
but it
a yeah. Mm-mm. I don't see
I
that.
mean when you fucking around with dope and you fucking around with the Italians, like a bullet to the head sometimes is the most regular way to go, or they could just do like real fucking damage to you, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's gonna be regular either way. My question though is, does Kanan find out that she had nothing to do with Famous and Crystal before or after she's gone? Or does he find out that it snaps and pops and then because how's Breeze gonna react if Kanan takes out his auntie and his uncle-in-law? You know what I'm saying? These are all questions that I'm starting to have. How do we get to
And,
the end?
and I think all of this is gonna happen. It's just what sequence is the shit gonna happen in. That's the thing. Does he
The
find
the
out?
one thing the one thing I don't want, and I'm very steadfast in this, when Ghost got killed and then they spent the last like 3 episodes replaying out the murder from different perspectives, I don't want that. I
Yeah,
don't want
no.
that at all. We don't need to do that. I don't need to see it from Dre's perspective, Tommy's perspective, whoever the fuck's perspective, just to know in the end it was Tariq that shot him. And then Tasha took the blame. We didn't need not need to rehash that, you know what
If
I'm
they do
saying,
that
this, that, and the
again,
third.
that's gonna be major lazy writing. That's gonna be
And
major
they would
lazy
really
writing.
fuck with the fan base because a lot of people hated that the way that that played out. Like if at that point you should have allowed Ghost to be killed in the very last episode. There should have been nothing else after Ghost got killed, except finding out that Tariq only got the money if he completed college and Tasha got nothing. That's all we should
Mhm.
have got after Ghost got killed. Then all that
Yeah.
extra shit was not necessary. Other than Tommy shooting no boy in the eye and saying I think he was gonna go to LA first and then he stopped in Chicago and
And
then
that's how
we
that
got
shit
Tommy
off, yeah.
show. Yeah. When is the Tariq and Tommy shit coming?
All that I don't know which one's coming first, Origins or the Tariq and Tommy shit. It will probably be the Tariq and Tommy shit.
It's gotta be the Tariq and Tommy shit. Origins is probably gonna be next week. I mean, not next year. Next year.
Mhm.
Um, but then again, well, I think it would be Tariq and Tommy next, and then you go to Origins.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who goes next. Um, yeah, I can't put my finger on it. Um, well,
Well, the old boy's homeboy's
Breeze
going next.
homeboy, he's going next. Now, as far as our principal characters, do Snaps and Pop go before Rock? Does Kanan confront them? Because Juke tried like, well, you Kanan, you don't listen to a motherfucking police. Yeah, but you the one telling me why the fuck would Rock kill such and such, this, that, and the third. Like, there was a reason for Rock to kill D Wiz. Like the fucking song said, street like this episode, streets need a body. They needed somebody to be responsible for Buck 20's death. And D Wiz unfortunately had to be that person. The fucked up part was D Wiz walking around the school like me and Kanan dropped that nigga, and Kanan being like, nigga, if you want the body, it's yours. I don't want nothing to do with that. And
Right.
just seeing the complete different version. Kanan from the beginning to where Kanan is now is crazy, but that's what the money and the dope will do to you. You
Yeah.
get that rush. You can't come back. And to be in that game, you have to be focused, like focused, and you can't be trusting motherfuckers. And we've seen that through with Kanan at this point. But D Wiz had to go for that reason. I don't there was no reason for Famous to have to go. No reason whatsoever. Like
Well,
Snaps
the
and
way they
Pop,
set it up, they never knew if that nigga told or not. They did not know. He had to
true.
go just simply before they did not know. And that was obviously Pops and old
Snaps and
girl.
Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crystal,
They didn't
I'm gonna
know.
have to go back and well, that's why I'm gonna have to go back and watch because I'm still trying. Like I know it
The
was
cops came to her. They knew that she had talked to the cops. She had got arrested. She didn't say
that's
anything,
right,
but once
that's
again,
right.
they didn't know.
No, so
So
she had to go. She was collateral
yeah,
damage,
they was
and
just tying up all loose ends.
this is why Snaps and Pop do not make it out of this season. They both
Mm-mm.
get killed. They
Yeah,
both get killed. They don't make it
absolutely.
out of this season. And again, my ultimate question though is where is Rock going to be once Kanan finds out that it was Snaps and Pop who were behind both Famous and Crystal murder? That's my like I'm ready to get to Power Origins. I'm ready to meet young Ghost and Tommy. I'm ready to see how this plays out. And even they have a young Angela too, don't they? If
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
mistaken, I think they casted a young Angela, if I'm not mistaken. Um um but for me at this point though, Neek is gone. We know Breeze homeboy ain't gonna make it. We starting to see Breeze who for what we've been told Breeze is and who Breeze is, and I'm all great with all of that. Now I just want to know, going back to Kanan showing up in season 1 of Power when he was like, "I went to see my mom's and then I came straight here." Did he mean he really went to see Rock, or did he go to
You
Rock's
go to the
grave
butcher free.
at the
Yeah,
cemetery? Which now that we figure out how Snaps and Pop is moving all nasty,
there is a young
I could
Angela. It's verified.
Okay,
There's a young Angela
that's
to
what I thought.
appear in Power Origins.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Because it was Angela. Remember, Tariq went to like Angela told Ghost about Choate when they were kids,
About who?
and then Choate, the school. Remember the school,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
private school that Tariq, where Tariq met Effie and Brayton.
Mhm.
Angela at the very end when they did that flashback, young Ghost was talking to young Angela, and he was like, "What's this?" And she was like, "It's a brochure for this school called Choate." And then young Tommy came out, was like, "Man, fuck this shit. Kanan got us. We got to go move some work for Kanan." And I think he said he's supposed to introduce us to Breeze too. I think he said that as well. I don't remember. I can't remember. I have to go back and watch. But I
So the
just want to
girl that's
know.
supposed to play young Angela is the same girl that was in the end of the Power where they were doing the flashbacks when they showed Tommy, Ghost, and Angela. It's the
And
same
young.
girl.
Okay, so why did so I don't. I guess the other two were locked up in other projects or something. I don't know why you don't go back and cast all three of them for continuity.
I don't know.
Because then if you go back and cast all three of them, you could do the
Did they
Rocky
ever
joint
tell
where
us
they
who Ghost and young Tommy is now?
the nigga that's Ghost, Creed 3, the one that was young Dame,
Young Dane.
he Dame, remember the one that Mike not Michael B. Jordan, what's the other, the homie, the one who married to Megan Good. Remember his
Mm-hmm.
career was taking off and they said he hit his girlfriend or whatever, and he was Kang in the Marvel
Yeah, yeah,
universe
yeah,
and
yeah,
all that.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the kid that played the younger version of him, because remember it's a flashback at the beginning of Creed 3. That kid is the kid who played the younger version of Dame is young Ghost. I forgot who's young Tommy. Let me see. Um
Spence Moore is yeah, okay. Oh no.
Charlie Mann. What?
Was it the Thaddeus J. Mixon cat?
I don't know. I have to look. I can tell you real quick.
Is this the
Creed
nigga?
3. Let me see. No, that was young Adonis.
Okay. So then it would have to be
Where is this nigga at?
this cat.
Did I see? Let me see. Yeah, that's young Ghost.
Okay.
Because even
Eh,
the woman they got the girl they got the woman they got to play Tommy's mom looks like the lady that played Tommy's mom in Power.
they ain't got Tommy with them funky ass braids in his head like they had the
No,
damn cornrows do that. Okay.
no.
That shit look crazy.
If they would have went without the braids, that kid kind of looked like Tommy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
Speaking of
should have just gave him a fresher cut.
Yeah, speaking of Tommy, he actually Joseph Sikora directed episode 3 of this of Raising Kanan. Haley Kilgore posted on her Instagram that Joseph Sikora was the director. Um,
Damn.
yeah, yeah. I know we got. I don't. How many episodes do we have this season? Let's
Should
see.
be 9 or 10 for the at least 10 for the finale.
Um, let's see. Blood by Blood, Many Men, Tricks, Pawns and Rooks, School of War, Dark Matter. Penultimate means second to last. That's interesting considering it's not. It's exactly 10.
Yeah.
So so episode 9 and 10 do not have a date yet. But every episode, so the next episode is Friday the 3rd, next one is July the 10th, the 24th. So there's 2 weeks in between episode 5 and 6 because the next episode should have been July 17th. So there's a 2-week break between episode 5 and 6. So obviously we won't have a show that week for Power. Um, then episode 7 is July 31st. Episode 8 is August 1st. They don't have a date for episode 9 or 10, so there might be another week break or something like that. It's interesting though. Episode 7 is called penultimate means second to last. Obviously, that's what penultimate means. Why that would be on the 7th episode when there's 10 episodes is strange to me. That's something I'm gonna file away for later. I don't know. Yeah, Breeze is coming into his own. This is Breeze that we're supposed to see. Marvin is still fucking Marvin. I think that Marvin and that girl Flossie, she was like, "We should have a drink tonight." Marvin was like, "I ain't never had to pay for no
Back no
pussy."
pussy. She told that nigga, "You can't afford this pussy." I said,
40.
"Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah."
And then he go and kick it with her that night, and she gives him the hug and the kiss on the cheek, and I'm thinking, is something going to happen here? Because
He
we
gonna
only
crack
really
her.
seen we saw him with the girl Tony in the first season. He was about to get with the anger management counselor, and then she got popped.
He gonna crack
Maybe
her.
I'm thinking that maybe Marvin does start fucking with her, and maybe it's a meeting, and her and Rock get taken out, and that also could lead Marvin to fucking Spiral.
Yeah,
But you know what I thought about? If Marvin tried to kill Kanan, obviously there would be a lot of fucking tension. Because if Marvin found out that Kanan killed Lou,
he's gonna try to
mistake
clip
or
her.
not, right, that would also fuck up Juke and Kanan's relationship. Now, we know Juke and Kanan hadn't seen each other for a while before Kanan showed up there in season 3 of Power.
Mhm.
So what the fuck leads to them falling out?
Kanan, well, so either one, there's a fall off from Marvin somewhere. He either dies or he turns into a dope fiend because that's
He
the
says
only
Marvin
thing.
is a crackhead, if I remember correctly.
So that's the only thing that is going to get Juke away from him. Juke just told she despised the game, and Rock even told her, "You talk all this shit about me, and look at you,
And here you
you
are
doing
now.
the
Here you
same
are
shit
now.
I'm doing." And she said, "I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for my daddy. I want to be close to my daddy." So the only thing that's going to get her to DC is his demise. Either that nigga dies or he turns into a crackhead. One of the two. There's no in between. He ain't just still Marvin moving around, killing motherfuckers, selling dope, fly ass Marvin. He's not the same. He's not going to be the
Okay.
same regardless after this.
There is a Reddit post. Okay, it was when Kanan was at Juke's house when he got burnt. It says Kanan been told us about Marvin's faith in the OG power. Fellas, I'm rewatching OG Power for the thousandth time. The scene just hit me as I've been thinking of this as well about rewatching Power Book 3 again. Although all of us probably already know Marvin's dying in Book Three's upcoming season 5, I wholeheartedly think it was already confirmed that OG Power in this scene right here is when the Juke's girlfriend is cleaning Kanan's wounds after the fire. Remember when that dusty, musty, crackhead looking chick spoke with Kanan and DC trying to get him to say what happened to him so he can inform Jukebox about it? Well, I seriously think Kanan almost slipped and told her about Marvin. He said, Juke owes me. I was there for her when her daddy kicked her out for the way she is. When, Nicole, why the
Mm-hmm.
long break in the answer? God damn it. Um, where did it go? Why the long break in the answer? Just say Juke kicked her out for the way she is. By the time of OG sexuality isn't that taboo no more, so he could tell her dusty ass was messing with Juke. Him asking afterwards if she was Juke's girlfriend only because her stank ass was all over his D. First of all, brother, I don't know what episode you were watching. That bitch that Juke had was bad.
Was bad. She was bad, the motherfucker.
Bad as sin. I don't know what you were watching, my boy. Number 2, Marvin didn't kick Juke out. He beat her ass, and Juke decided to bounce on her own will. She just went next door. Let's keep it a buck. According to that scene right here, the timeline of Juke apparently owing Kanan for being there for her would have events that happened in Raising Kanan season 1. This would make no sense because y'all know Marvin dies in season 5. So why would Kanan and OG mention a favor from season 1 and not more likely from season 5? You can literally tell he was going to say she owes me. I was there for her when her daddy died. And the way he said it was Juke owing him makes one thing clear to me as well. Juke will obviously avenge Marvin, but it'll be Kanan who will find out who did it and tell her about it. He'll probably be there for her. She gonna hit him with the "I owe you, but this is my battle" type shit. And this is a good theory, but we also got to keep in mind that Raising Kanan wasn't thought of at the time of OG Power was made, and by different writers too. Mhm. I don't know.
That nigga's dying or he turns into a crackhead. There's no way around it.
From what I remember him saying that he had an uncle that was a crackhead. That's why when Marvin and Lou showed up in the first season, we was just like, okay, one of these niggas is gonna die and the other nigga's gonna become a crackhead
But it's already been started. Marvin had trouble with drugs
with drugs
in
before. That's why
four.
Rock
Yeah.
had to take over. Yep, that's
Yeah.
true. That is true. Okay. I don't know. I think we covered episode 2 and 3. So I think it's time for us to go ahead and go ahead and get to our draft before we wrap this thing up. Kobe, you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we both got 5 picks apiece.
All right, 5 picks.
You tell us who's going first. I got my draft card right here.
All right, guess number 1 to 5.
7.
1 to 5,
1 to 5.
nigga.
1 to 5.
Oh, 1 to 5. My bad. Bug out. 2.
4.
It was 4. Still.
Damn. Okay. You got it.
All right. I'm going Ghost for my first pick.
All right,
I
still got
figured you were gonna
Ghost.
do that. I figured you were gonna do that to Ghost off the board. Um,
You fuck up
give me
if you want
Tommy.
to.
Give me
Okay.
Tommy.
Okay.
All right,
I know
Ghost.
I know who you taking. I know who you taking. I know who you taking. And I
All
was
right,
this
Ghost
close
and
to
Tab
taking him.
together.
Got to take the OGs.
Okay. So you got Tommy. So then
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Marvin.
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do that. See, I know you. Give me Kane.
Ooh, you little motherfucker.
Give me Kane.
All right, you got Derek. You got Kane and Tommy.
Okay. So then I'm going just off the little niggas Brazilian. I'm going Tariq.
Okay, that's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. I didn't even have Tariq on my draft board.
All right.
Kobe, you got an echo.
It's better.
Yeah, there we go.
Check, check. Okay, there we go. All right. Give me OG Kanan.
Okay.
All right. Y'all got 2 left. It's round 4.
I got Rock.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. I will see your rock, and I will raise you a Monet.
I knew you was gonna do that. Okay. Okay. So my last pick is gotta be. Hmm. Let me see. I'm going slick nigga. I'm going um Lorenz Tate's character.
Ooh, send that bread, my nigga.
Yeah.
All right, my last pick.
Ooh, I know who I should have picked. Mm. Mm.
So actually, y'all want to do honorable mentions?
Yeah,
We can do
I
that.
do.
Okay, cool. That makes it easier. Give me Lulu.
Lulu.
Got Lulu. I got OG Tejada, the daddy.
Okay. So for my honorable mention, I am taking OG Jukebox.
All right. That wraps it up.
Okay. So we gonna put a poll up on social media. Sterl had Marvin, Ghost, Tariq, Tejada, and who was your other one? I'm missing one.
Lorenz Tate's character.
Lorenz Tate. Okay. All right. And I have Tommy, Lulu,
Oh no, I
OG
have Rock.
Juke.
Did you put Rock?
Oh, you did have Rock. My bad. I
Yeah,
ain't got
OG
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
it. My
Tejada
bad.
is the honorable mention, so 6.
So I have Tommy, Lulu, OG Jukebox, Monet, Kane. Oh, I did have Rock on there.
Yeah, Madonna or something like that,
OG
right?
Kanan. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So we'll put up a post up on all social media platforms. We'll ask who won the draft. We will be back, of course, next week to recap episode 4, and that'll take place on Friday, July the 3rd. Thank God it's a short week. I don't have to work on Friday. I'm so happy about that. Y'all got anything else?
That's it.
That is it.
All right, man. We're gonna end
May the
this
best
like we
man
end
win.
everything else. That's right. Get those likes and subscribes, get those subs up, all that stuff. Make sure to follow the TikTok for the podcast, my TikTok, Sterl's TikTok, Colby, Amy, all of us. Follow us on IG. We're tagging and posting all that stuff. We will catch y'all next week. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America 250. Yo, bitch you. Peace.
Peace
All
out.
right. Peace.